a team in a very similar situation as Philadelphia. The Dallas Mavericks are at home taking on the Phoenix Suns. They too down 2-0. This line pretty steady at 1 right now here. Looks like the Suns will be the road favorite. 219 and a half, 218 and a half, 219s. Somewhere in that ballpark. Your second game here tonight. Talk to me, Andy. Now, fading a superstar in Embiid, are we fading Doncic here tonight by any chance?
There's a good segue about Luka Doncic's diet and pie holes. He's been known to enjoy. I have some strong takes on this series. It looks to me like Phoenix is perfectly fine with letting Doncic get all of his points. They just want to make him work really, really hard for it so that he's, basically a defensive corpse in the fourth quarter, which is why you're seeing Chris Paul dominate. And if you can find a prop on Chris Paul fourth quarter points, this is what they're doing. Okay, Luka, you get your 35 and your 40. You're going to be completely tired, and we're going to take advantage of you. So I can't take an under on Doncic points, and I think the Phoenix Suns would be perfectly fine to watch Luka put up 35, 40 points. The other guy who, talk about the big difference between playing against the Jazz defense against the Suns defense, Brunson going over his PRA in every single game against the Jazz, and now he's flown under in both games against Phoenix. Boy, it's a little bit different when you're being guarded by Donovan Mitchell and then Mikal Bridges. And Brunson looks scared to me, the eye test. He's tentative going to the rim. He's not as aggressive. I don't know if this home crowd gives him a little bit of extra juice, but his points, rebounds, and assists are unders for sure. I find the Phoenix Suns a little bit tough to play just because I'm not really sure what I'm getting. Chris Paul has been good, but Devin Booker is kind of always flirting with his PRA, especially with the hamstring. Bridges, I can't find a trend there. Ayton, I was excited to play his points or his rebounds last game. I did not, and I was glad because he got into foul trouble. He's not really a guy that normally gets into foul trouble. He could be a good bounce back guy. But honestly, Phoenix, I'm not really excited to play some player props. But for Dallas, give me Luka over the points and Jalen Brunson under his PRA for tonight's game.
All right, there you go. Certainly one way to approach it here. Like you said, a lot of options in this series here, Tony Finn. Where might Scott Foster be here tonight? Is he in this game, Tony Finn? Do you know?
I started to stop, and when I was doing my analysis of this game, and I thought about, let me find out who. It doesn't matter. I thought I stopped. It doesn't matter. I mean, what's changed? What's going to change from the first two games of this series to the third game? Certainly not American Arena. It's not going to change. I mean, Mr. Lang spoke facts and exactly what's happened, and that's Phoenix has toyed with this team. In game one, they got a big lead, and they let Dallas feel kind of good about themselves. They came back, cut it to 7 points, had actually a chance to cover. 3-point corner shot missed. And in game two, they basically stayed close in the first half, let Booker do some work in the third, and then scored 40 on Dallas, supposedly the best defensive team they've had in years. It's a complete mirage, and if you're thinking that these two teams are close, they're not. And the first two games show that. And I'm shocked, guys, that the metrics, there's some adjustment typically made. I've thought that Phoenix would be a 2 or 3 point favorite here. Sure, the numbers, the net ratings don't call for that. But what they've done in the first two games is, I think it's transparent. It's obvious, and they're the better team here.
All right. He thinks there's only one way to look here, Merrill. How about you? Which way you looking here tonight in this matchup?
Well, it was interesting in game two the other night. Dallas is leading in the second quarter, actually held the lead at the half. And then early third quarter, Doncic's already had over 20-some points in half the game. Booker only had like 4 points. He gets to 6 points, and the Suns are up by about 6 at this point. I'm thinking not a good sign for Dallas right now. Booker's done hardly anything. Doncic is playing fantastic, and the Suns are still up by 6. And once again, Phoenix pulls away there late. It was actually a tight game. They go on that monster run at the end. And the Phoenix Suns have now shot, as we know, 50% or better in all 8 playoff games this year. They shot 65% last game, game 2 at home. So this is a really good offensive team. Normally teams shoot 50% for 8 straight games. You look for a regression, but that's not the case here. It's the best offensive team in basketball. They averaged 49% for the season, so shooting 50 is not that much above. And then on top of that, this is a team that was 8 games better than anybody else in the regular season, and the defending Western Conference champs playing with a chip on their shoulder after losing the finals last year against Milwaukee. With that said, though, you get the reversal here of home court, and I think this actually could be the difference because, as I said earlier, mathematically, teams down 0-2 back at home in Game 3 have been a very strong play. Now, as Tony said, Phoenix normally would be favored in this situation, so it is somewhat priced into the line. Yet we still get Dallas in a pick-em to -1 range, basic straight-up win situation. As far as the first half line, as I said earlier, it's -2 Dallas. So you're definitely paying a premium, and it's -150 on the money line. So you would expect the Mavericks to come out strong in the first half. I'm going to stay off the side here for the show. I'm going to look at the total. And I used a strong best bet in Game 1 over the total here. Stayed off it in Game 2, but as I mentioned here in the show, the over is the only way I would play it. They put up 238 points after putting up 235. Total was 214 for Game 1. It was 217 for Game 2. Now the adjustment in this one, well, we're looking at a total of around 218 to 219 range. So it's only about a point higher. I don't think they're moving it up quite enough. Normally I'd take a contrarian view, but as I said, Phoenix shooting hot is not anything out of the ordinary. I think it's a fast pace. I think Dallas has to score some points at home. So I think over once again works, over 218 for the third straight in this series.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, damn it. It's our motto here. And bottom line is anticipate some points because like Steve said, shooting, almost 90% in the fourth quarter is nothing to Phoenix. They've been doing it all damn year. All right, so you got 2 teams down 0-2, go home, try to salvage and at least get themselves back in this series.